won't stop till I hear him say,
Alrighty, what is going on, CYPRX advanced YouTubers? Welcome back to the CYPRX YouTube page. As always, if you're interested in learning about cryptocurrencies, commodities, indices, and foreign exchange, please go ahead and consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Guys and gals, in today's video breakdown, we're just going to do a quick fundamental analysis and update. I told you guys that once per week, I will try and make just a fundamental overview, going over some articles and some interesting tweets that I thought and found interesting that I'd like to display to you guys. So right off the bat, you guys can see that today's Tuesday, September 6th. We have some interesting USD data coming out today. We have ISM Services PMI coming out at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's roughly about 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll definitely be watching out to see if this causes any market volatility in the DXY today. We already know that we're watching the DXY closely, right? So with that being said, if there is some type of bullish move on the DXY, most likely that is going to drag the cryptocurrency market down with it. And then vice versa, if there is a decline in the DXY, we will be paying attention to that to maybe potentially take some buy scalps on coins like XRP or Bitcoin. All right. So moving on, that's something just to pay attention to. And again, you guys can go check this out, forexfactory.com, read those releases if you're interested in those types of fundamentals. Sometimes those get a little bit distracting. If you pay too much attention to them, it's not too significant. Okay. Your main focus really needs to be on the monetary policy release statement that comes out on September 21st. Moving on, I announced to you guys the other day, this is an email that I got. I couldn't really find any articles on this. So if you do hold HBAR on Uphold, congratulations, right? I know that I did for quite some time, but Uphold came through and you are now allowed to withdraw your HBAR. So very significant. You guys can see I got this email. Uphold spree of new crypto network integrations continues, and this time it's HBAR. And now it's just saying if you're a part of HBAR community, you can now safely deposit and withdraw your tokens on chain between your Uphold wallet and any external HBAR wallet. So that's just something interesting. Again, Uphold coming through. It would be really nice to see if we could withdraw our Casper. Personally, Casper is the only cryptocurrency asset that I still have on a hot wallet on Uphold because it's still stuck on there. Now, Casper that I had on KuCoin and other exchanges, I was able to get off and put on Casper.live. However, I still have some Casper sitting on Uphold, so it would be nice to see that withdrawal process come through. So let's just keep waiting. Let's see if Uphold can come through. I know that people have been requesting it, and Uphold has stated in the past that they're working on it. So let's just see if they do pull through with that. Another update. Binance pulling support of USD coin, converting several stablecoins to Binance USD. Now, they pretty much announced that they're doing this for liquidity reasons to support more liquidity on their platform. But still, guys and gals, it's something to be mindful of. I told you guys not to have, or at least, not financial advice or anything like that. But I told you all that I personally don't have any USD coins sitting on, hot wallet exchanges. A lot of people do. They pump their money into these these stable coins just so that way they can buy crypto on the fly. And it's just not a good idea, guys and gals, because you never know if any of these stable coins are going to depeg from the United States dollar. You never know if something like this is going to happen where, a crypto exchange like Binance is pulling support of the United States dollar coin. And you just don't want anything negative to happen to your overall portfolio if it doesn't need to. So make sure that you guys are doing offline storage. Make sure that you guys are doing cold wallets. Find ways to consistently protect your capital. You can never be too careful. Now, this isn't necessarily bad news because they're still allowing withdrawals in USDC. I'm not too entirely sure. You guys can go check this out and look more into it, but I'm pretty sure that they're just allowing everybody to convert their USD coin into Binance USD to, again, support more liquidity on the platform. So again, that's just a headline that I thought that I'd display to you guys. We come over here, and this is something that I've covered in the past YouTube video that I find very interesting. This was from July 2022, where Vladimir Putin pretty much signed a law banning digital assets payments in Russia for, over-the-counter goods, right? People like going to the mall or whatever the case may be, buying coffee, things of that nature. It's pretty much illegal, right? Okay. He signed a bill that adds to previous prohibition against cryptocurrency payments in the country. And again, this was in July. But then we come over here, and an interesting tweet that was put out by Coin Momo official is breaking. Central Bank of Russia and Finance Ministry agree to legalize cryptocurrency use for cross-border payments. So it's just interesting. And I've told you guys so many times that these banking elites, these governmental officials, they don't have it out for the general public. They don't want people investing in a cryptocurrency, and it has nothing to do with protecting investors. It has everything to do with the fact that people are experiencing life-changing wealth, and the elites want to keep all of the wealth in their bloodlines. Okay. They don't want normal people like you and I becoming millionaires off of simply investing a couple $1,000s into this crypto space and us seeing unimaginable returns on our initial investment. It has nothing to do with, protecting investors like these regulators are claiming. Okay. And then we come over here just to support that tweet. It says Russia to reportedly consider crypto use for international payments. So it's just funny how, citizens in Russia and all these other countries, they're not allowed to utilize crypto for day-to-day transactions, but for international payments, for the banking giants, for the institutions that have, massive debt, that have massive liquidity crisis and issues, they're allowed to utilize cryptocurrency for international payments. It's just hilarious, guys. And again, something to be mindful of. Be open-minded about this stuff and definitely look into it, especially considering the fact that if you're an international individual watching this YouTube channel, you might be subject to more tight crypto restrictions. Okay, so definitely just keep your eye out on that. This was very positive news and something that I'm going to cover in the GBP JPY breakdown that I'm going to upload later this evening. But we see right here, UK elects crypto-friendly prime minister who said countries should embrace blockchain and digital assets. Now, this is Liz Truss. She is replacing Boris Johnson. She just won her election for prime minister of the United Kingdom. But the United Kingdom has elected a new prime minister whose past comments suggest that she is pro-crypto and blockchain technology. Liz Truss, there's her name right there, representing the UK's Conservative Party, is expecting to take over following current PM Boris Johnson's planned resignation on September 6th. This is something that I've been covering for quite some time, especially in the CYPRX community, something that I told the students to be mindful of, as you guys will be able to see via the breakdown that I will give you all later tonight on a Zoom call that we have with the CYPRX students. We were able to call out over 300 pips surrounding this positive GBP news based off of Liz Truss becoming the new prime minister. That was extremely bullish for the United Kingdom economy, mainly just based off of some of the things that she wants to put into place with her new official spot in office. Okay, so that was something significant again to bring to the table in the cryptocurrency market for the United Kingdom. We already know that the UK is extremely on board with, this digital adoption. Something over here that we see from Cointelegraph, data from Bitcoin processors suggests crypto winter is not affecting widespread adoption. This is something that I've talked about multiple times, and that it is extremely healthy for the market to experience a massive purge, right? With malicious attacks, scams, Ponzi schemes, all of these things in the market, people profiting from, other people's hard-earned work and then doing rug pulls and things of that nature. It's caused a massive just liquidation event across the board in the cryptocurrency market, and it is something that is extremely healthy. If you go and you watch interviews on all these top head CEOs of all these crypto assets and all these hedge fund millionaires and billionaires, a lot of them have said back in the end of 2021, 2000 and the beginning of 2022 that there were going to be massive liquidation events that needed to take place, and nobody wanted to listen and pay attention to that. It is healthy for the market to pull back. It is healthy for an emerging asset class to experience these liquidations, so that way we can rid out all of the crap projects and all of the people that are just holding this asset class back from regulatory clarity, from wide stream adoption. And so that's something just to be mindful of, guys and gals, is that this is healthy for the cryptocurrency market to experience. But what impact will the crypto winter have on mainstream adoption, and will it push the industry back in its quest to make digital assets an everyday method of payment? Personally, I don't think so, but let's just read this and dive in. If it wasn't devastating enough for investors to see cryptocurrency lose nearly $2 trillion in value since the height of 2021 and the rally, analysts have predicted that the most recent plunge isn't a traditional market pullback. Instead of distinguishing between a market pullback and long-term declines, the industry has already shown signs of more dread in the crypto winter. For context, unlike last year's BTC plunge from 64,000 to 30,000, which occurred in a matter of weeks, only to be followed by a sustained rebound to a new record high of 68,700. The cooling prices evident in 2022 are making for much rough waters. To illustrate, consider the context in 2022. This is a broader economic uncertainty owing to the invasion of Ukraine, soaring inflation, and fears of a recession in major countries. Now, that's interesting to say the least, because I told you guys multiple times that we are most likely not going to see some, new all-time high or any type of major altcoin rally this year, because the economic, right, the macroeconomic view right now is just so saturated. Okay. Investors are extremely fearful right now. Banking institutional giants have no regulatory clarity when it comes to the crypto space. Most likely, guys and gals, this crypto winter is going to get worse. Now, that's not to say that there are some bullish fundamentals coming out towards the end of this year that could cause a little bit of a relief pump. But time and time again, I've told my followers to be mindful of those sell-off regions from April and May highs. And if we don't break those in the up and coming bullish relief pump that we could experience, and that is being called out for in the cryptocurrency market, then most likely we will see another bearish leg down heading into 2023. I do not think that the financial reset and the liquidity crisis and all of the financial crisis that we're expecting has taken place yet. I told you guys on my Twitter to be mindful of that I do not think the digital reset has completely, fully taken over yet. I still think that there has to be some type of economic or financial fallout that needs to still take place in this market before we do see a new alt season or a new all-time high on our favorite crypto utility assets, things of that nature. Again, it's just something to be mindful of. Okay. So if you are an investor in these digital assets, understand that this is an emerging asset class. Okay. Only invest in money that you're willing to lose, and understand that there's going to be extreme price volatility to the up and down side in the next couple of years until we see regulatory clarity come into this place and prices start to stabilize, which is something that 100% is going to happen in the future. The market, right, after an emerging asset class kind of booms and busts, will eventually stabilize. We will get to a point in the cryptocurrency market where it will not be this volatile, but from now until 2030, that is not an option. It is going to be extremely volatile because this is an emerging asset class in its new years of life. Okay. So just something to take into consideration. Over here, we see an article from the Daily Huddle, and it reads, Federal Reserve researchers predict 2 adoption scenarios for crypto and DeFi in a new report. Again, you guys know overall that I'm extremely bullish long-term in the cryptocurrency market, but I attempt to, direct my followers' attention to the downside risk and the volatility that you could potentially experience in the form of loss of your overall portfolio or starting capital. Okay. New research from the US Federal Reserve offers 2 scenarios that could lead to widespread adoption of crypto and decentralized finance. Both of these options, in my personal opinion, are extremely bullish overall for the crypto market. But in a new report, the Fed says there are 2 paths forward, one where blockchain finance intertwines with traditional finance, and one where they are separate but parallel. So both of those scenarios to play out are still bullish for the cryptocurrency market overall. And the Federal Reserve is confirming that adoption of crypto markets is coming. Okay. Coming down here, just some highlights. We see, according to the Fed study, financial stability risks loom in either scenario, as both decentralized finance and centralized finance subsectors are largely unregulated. In either scenario, both CeFi and DeFi may pose financial stability risks that are exacerbated by the fact that both are currently largely outside the prudential regulatory parameters. That's something, again, to be mindful of. That is why we are experiencing a halt in this cryptocurrency market, and all of these major banking giants that have talked about adopting cryptocurrency have not pumped large amounts of liquidity into this market yet because they are waiting for that regulatory framework. And we see right down here, an additional way to reduce the volatility of the cryptocurrency prices might be for various aspects of DeFi to be more closely integrated to the existing financial system. This sentence right here, in my personal opinion, was extremely bullish, because we see right here, more closely integrated to the existing financial system means lots of money coming into the space would be an additional way to reduce volatility. I told you guys right here that the reduction of volatility over time will most likely come as this emerging asset class develops and regulatory framework comes in and more institutionalized money comes into this market. And instead of being pulled in and pulled out, it just sits there over time. Again, something to be mindful of for the future of this digital space. Last but not least, I have this article right here, and it says crypto assets are no longer a niche and regulators need to catch up, the International Monetary Fund reports. Recent failures of crypto issuers, exchange, and hedge funds are major motivators behind better crypto regulation. The past few years have seen crypto assets move from being a niche product to having more of a mainstream presence, prompting the need for more comprehensive regulation of the space. According to the International Monetary Fund, in a new report offered by the IMF Capital Markets Director, Adita Nireen, I hope that I didn't pronounce that wrong, probably, but I apologize, and Assistant Director Marine Moretti, officials noted that the crypto assets have firmly shifted away from being a niche product to one used for speculative investments, hedges against weak currencies, and payment instruments. The authors added that this, along with the recent failures of the crypto issuers, exchanges, and hedge funds, have added impetus to the push to be regulated. So again, it's something to be mindful of. We see regulators are struggling to acquire the talent to learn the skills to keep pace given stretched resources and many other priorities, which is why you see companies like Ripple working with the IMF. I've showed you guys in past videos to prompt a regulatory framework, which is again why I personally think that the SEC sued Ripple, right, to prompt regulatory framework behind the scenes. They know exactly what they're doing. Once XRP gets clarity, it is going to be one of the only digital assets with clarity, which is also going to boost some of the other similar tokens like XLM and things of that nature to the upside once that regulatory framework comes into play. But again, this is all just a waiting game in this emerging asset class. Last but not least, we see right here, a global regulatory framework will bring order to the markets, help instill consumer confidence, lay out the limits of what is permissible, and provide a safe space for useful innovation to continue. Regulators around the world have continued to gather around the regulatory table. So that's something, again, just to be mindful of. I do appreciate the love and the support. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is just your weekly fundamental update. Blessings to you all, and I will see you guys in the next YouTube video breakdown.
Won't stop till I hear him say